and I can't let him out there and all of that chlorine stuff. Okay.
You are listening to the new WCEG network on WCEGTalkRadio.com. Click your live stream tab or watch us live on your smart TV on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn under WCEG Network. I am Wardell Richardson, your show host right here on WCEG The Wood, WCEG Wood, Hollywood of the South. Man, I'll be gone for a minute. For the next hour, we're your worldwide community empowerment group where we speak life into the community. Subscribe free to our YouTube channel on the WCEG Network. Like, follow, and connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, IG, and LinkedIn. We have some new platforms. If you don't know now, you're sleeping under a rock because we've been under that for a while now. We are on iOS, Apple, iPhones, and iPads. You can go to the Apple Store, search for WCEG Talk Radio, and download the app. On Apple TV, you can search for WCEG Network TV. On the Apple Watch, search for WCEG Network. On the Android mobile phones and tablets, go to Google Play and search for WCEG Talk Radio. Mobile phones and tablets. Last but not least, the topics and opinions are those of the show hosts and guests and not those of WCEG Network. Thank you for your continued support. I am Wardell Richardson, your host right here on WCEG Wood, the Hollywood of the South. And I am so happy to be here. This is my first show of the season. I'm going to tell you guys, I have been really, really busy. I have had a lot going on this year. It has been quite a year. I went to school to get into doing grants. So that took me out the last season of the year. And I took a good little break because my grandmother passed away. And then I bought a home and had to get a new place. And I worked for AT&T. We went on strike. Total crazy, a lot of great things, some crazy things, but all in all, it has been a wonderfully great year. Also, I have just a few updates and news. So as you all know, a hurricane did come through parts of Georgia. And because it came through, it affected a lot of different locations all the way up to, I'm trying to get it to it here, all the way up to, I think, North Carolina and South Carolina. So at least 215 people are known to have died as a result of the destruction wrought by Hurricane Helene since it has made landfall in Florida a week ago. More than half of the deaths were in North Carolina, where entire communities were destroyed by several feet of fast-moving water. Hundreds are still missing, and officials have reported difficulties in identifying some of the dead bodies. President Joe Biden visited North Carolina yesterday and announced that up to 1,000 active duty soldiers would join the North Carolina National Guard in delivering supplies, food, water to isolated communities. If you would like to help donate to survivors of Helene, several organizations, including the Red Cross and national voluntary organizations active in disaster, are seeking assistance from the public. So my condolences goes out to all those people who died in that hurricane. It was definitely horrific. I know many people just in the city of Augusta here in Georgia who recently got their water and lights back on just a few days ago. And this happened some days ago, a while ago. So my condolences go off to those who passed away and to all of those who are still suffering from it. We here at WCEG Wood, Hollywood of the South, and WCEG Talk Radio sends our extreme condolences to you and prayers to you and your families. Secondly, there was a chemical fire on the 29th. The chemical fire released the smoke afterwards. After the chemical fire broke out on the roof of a biolab plant in Conyers, Georgia. It was caused by a sprinkler system malfunction, dousing the reactive chemicals inside the building, including chlorine. Smoke from the chemical plant is shifting toward Atlanta through Sunday. If you notice a chlorine odor in the air, you should limit your time outside. That was put out not too long ago, and that's the latest update. It is shifting toward Atlanta. A lot of people have been calling me and saying that there is some smoke in the air. If you're starting to smell that chlorine smell, limit your time outside. Some of the symptoms are eye and airway irritation, coughing, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, chest tightness, and headache. So if you start experiencing any of those symptoms, go inside, close the windows, and just relax and drink plenty of water. Make sure you limit your time going outside. If you go outside, get in the car, go where you need to go. Make sure the windows are rolled up. Don't run the air. That's what they're saying, because the air brings the chemicals inside the car. So please be careful when you're out and driving around out here right now. It is a crazy mess. But now to why we are here today. So I am a radio show host here at WCEGWood, Hollywood of the South. And I have been wanting to interview this woman from day one. She is the queen of WCEG Talk Radio. She was just inducted into the Black Radio Hall of Fame. She's an evangelist. She's the CEO of WCEG. She's the COO of Rain Dance Films. And she's an actress. Man, she's doing her thing. I am so happy to have this woman on the show and to be able to interview her. She's my friend. She's like a second mom to me. I call her, we talk all the time, and I love her to the core. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Penny Rogers. How are you?
I am wonderful. Hi, Wardell. How are you? You know I'm going to get you, right? I'm going to get you. I'm saying it publicly so people can already know. Okay. I'm well. How are you?
I am wonderful. You know, you the queen now. You were supposed to had this interview.
I forgot my tiara, but go ahead.
now, I'm in the 6th year or something like that?
Wow. Let's see.
It's been
I forget now. It's been so long.
Right.
But you've been with us pretty much since almost our first or second year, because you came on as a guest several times.
Right.
And that's how we were able to bond, to get you to come to our little station.
Okay.
Join our family. And thank you.
He said little station. Okay, we're going to talk about this little station. So let's start from the beginning. What was the idea behind the radio station? Where did that come from?
Well, I guess, do we have time for this? This long? Well, no, really?
We got plenty of time for you.
And I didn't know, are we going to go the full hour? Okay. So what had happened was, but really, when we first started out, this was not even on the radar that I was aware of. But, God has plans.
Right.
If you want to make God laugh, as they say, you tell God your plans. But things started out with someone asking me to come to their radio station to do gospel music on Sundays.
Okay.
And that's how it started. And that's when the Gospel Diva was born. And I did this for probably over a year.
Okay.
And this other station, it started even before then, and it never really manifested. We kept going to meetings and driving out to this location to go to do a radio show on Sundays with gospel music. And they kept putting us on hold, me and about 2 or 3 more other talk show hosts.
Okay.
And so after that didn't manifest, we got together, the show host, and said, we can do this. So we all pulled together and we started working with another radio station. This was back until 2012, 2013.
Okay.
And things kind of started going left. And the show host and the producers, we said, we can do this. So
All right.
we started our own network. And for about a year and a half, and then things started going left. And that's when God told me, now it's your turn. And I didn't understand what I was supposed to do. I didn't know anything about producing. I just used to be on the other side of the microphone. And so from there, WCEG was born. And here
Wow.
we are today.
Wow. Now, how did you come up with the name WCEG?
Well, there were the acronym WCEG really did not have, as far as I knew, words behind it. And when I was talking to a person that formerly ran WCEG and I was going to take over, it was just an acronym. So out of the blue, it came up in my spirit, and it was nothing but the Holy Spirit saying Worldwide Community Empowerment Group. Just like that. Had no thought to it whatsoever. So I know that it was ordained for this to happen. The name and everything.
And what went into putting it together? Because you got together, you took over. So you pretty much had an idea of how it works, right? Or did you not?
Well, no, I just was observing over the last few years of the other stations that brought me under their umbrella.
Okay.
And Sunday mornings, I came into their station. They put me in front of the camera and the microphone and let me have it. And I was on for like 4 hours doing gospel music on Sunday mornings, playing gospel music, inspiration for your soul.
Wow.
And I had no idea. I was always observant, looking at the producers with the soundboard, didn't understand anything other than the on and off switch. Had no idea. I didn't have any idea.
Wow. So you just had to figure it out. You just had to.
Well, I surrounded myself with some wonderful people that were not selfish in showing me what each button was and what you do with this button, what you do with that button, how you get the sound to come through the soundboard to go out through. I had wonderful people that were in my midst, and they really trained me. They taught me what to do.
Gotcha. And what about the radio really took you? Because now we're years and years into it. What about it makes you want to keep going?
Well, when we first started and opened the doors just with the audio portion, just the radio and not the visual television, when we first turned on the microphones out at our first location out at the Atlanta airport where we met, it was just crazy. When we went on the air July 2015, we had been sitting in the studio getting everything together, the equipment, the mics, the soundboard, everything that we needed, the amps and all of that. It took us a couple of months, to find a location. We signed the lease. It still didn't dawn on me what was happening. And then we got everything connected. We tested everything. And I started out with a little 8-channel soundboard. It was a little bitty board about this big. It only had 8 channels on it, okay? And we had 4 microphones to it. And when we went on the air in July of 2015, it took off like wildfire, worldwide. And within the first 5 months, by the time December 2015 rolled around, we had over 500,000 listeners.
Wow.
And we have not been able to catch up and keep up with the demand. It was just, I was told by everyone, oh, talk show's not going to work. I was being told this by terrestrial radio stations, which means those are a brick and mortar building and you can get them on your radio dial. Oh, when we turn our talk on, people turn us off and go. But worldwide, we picked up over 500,000 listeners in about 5 months. And by the time we reached our first year, May of 2016, we had over 1 million listeners. And that just blew me away. I never had any expectations that fast. I just thought it was going to, take its time. But God saw that this thing went viral, okay, so to speak.
Yeah, so you followed God and not your own thought.
Every step of the way, even with the show host, even with the type of shows. And I had some wonderful team players. I had wonderful partners. I'm not going to take all the credit because I couldn't do it alone and it took a team effort.
Right.
But you have to have stick-to-itiveness, because if you don't, I noticed that everyone that started off before and after WCEG, they're no longer in existence.
Right. Now, what is the process in getting a show host? Because I have to say thank you for this opportunity that I have, because I never in a million years thought I would be a talk show host.
Don't play. Don't play.
Did not. You remember, you gave me the opportunity. You said, I want you to interview Reese Odom, who I did the movie with.
A movie with, yes.
Domestic violence movie.
Time or something like that.
Yeah.
The last time.
The last time, a domestic violence film, and I interviewed her. And afterwards, I thought I was done. I thought it was just a one-hit-a-quarter type thing. And you was like, so you need to figure out what you want to do for your next show. And I said, wait, what? Like it didn't hit me till then that you were offering me this opportunity.
Well, if you remember, when I asked you to come on board, I asked you, did you want to do your own show? Would you want to host?
It still didn't hit me like that. And you said a show, right? So when you say a show, I'm thinking like
one show.
Yes.
No. But think about this. Think about this. When you came to us in the beginning, came on, you were invited to be guests on 2 of our Millennial Talk Show and the Millennial Talk 2.0. And I think it was another show host that brought you on board.
Right.
Received so well. The young people loved you. The young people thought you were just the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, no, really, because of what you do. You're an actor, you're a producer, you're a writer, you're a director. You've been in the business for over 15 years, almost 20 years now. Right. And with the movie, when I really enjoyed the last time, when I saw that movie and saw your acting skills, and Atlanta was becoming the Hollywood of the South.
Right.
People coming from LA to Atlanta to film movies, to shoot movies. We became another movie capital. So I'm like, we need to have someone, and that was part of the plan, and how God gives me the visions. That's why when I told you I'm visionary, this is why I said that, was because God will show me visions. And I'm like, okay, well, if this guy is an actor, producer, director, writer, he knows the people in the industry, he knows the business, Hollywood has come to Atlanta, we should have a show where we can highlight all of these features, all of these actors, all of these producers, everything that you want to talk about in the movie and film industry. You're familiar with it, and you know you know the ins and outs. And if you don't know, you bring people in that do know this. So it was just a vision that I received from God that this could be a show.
Mm.
WCEG Wood, Hollywood of the South. I mean, it was a natural. And who
Uh,
would be the perfect host? Somebody that knows the industry? I definitely couldn't host the show, okay? So, but I've learned a lot about the industry from our relationship.
yeah, yeah. You have
So,
definitely been influential in Rain Dance Film, which is my film company. And
congratulations. Yeah.
together we have been doing quite a few things. So I'm very excited that I am part of your vision, because this right here was something once I got into it, and I was like, man, I can open the doors to so many people and give us a chance to, let the world see who we are. Because honestly, unless we make it big or something like that and get an interview on TV and stuff, that's when you see it. So I wanted this show to be something for us entertainers, the filmmakers, the
Absolutely.
producers and stuff. So because we all play a part in the creation of making this movie happen.
Amen.
So I'm very thankful that you gave me this opportunity.
Well, I'm thankful that you accepted because your schedule, you're
Oh
in and
yeah,
out of town, you're on movie sets, you
yeah,
have a family, beautiful family, you travel, you do it all and you work, okay?
yeah,
And it's like,
yeah,
how can we make this happen? And that's why whatever time that was going to be convenient for you, whatever time you could put your time in, we were going to go for it. And we used to do 2-hour shows.
yeah, yeah.
And we started off having shows, the show hosts were on every week.
Right,
And then, the COVID changed some things, but
right,
it was like at least we should be able to maybe grab a couple of shows out of the month based on your schedule.
right.
And God made it happen. He
Right.
made it.
What has been the biggest challenge for you in maintaining this radio?
The biggest challenge has been keeping up with the demand of the business. No, I think the easiest part would be having quality talk. But
Right.
the biggest challenge is keeping up with the demand because once we started, my feet never hit the ground. Within that
Uh,
first 5 months, we had over 500,000 listeners. And then by the first year, we were up to over 1 million listeners. I never had a chance to stop and really
grasp
breathe,
it.
think
Yeah.
about what to do. I mean, I just had to keep it going because we had to be doing something right. And the
Yeah.
type of shows, meeting different people, when guests come into the studio or when subjects come up or when something is going on in society, I
Yeah.
knew we had to address it in some shape, form, or fashion
Yeah.
and give us a variety. You know how you have some talk shows, they have this one same host, they may have different guests, they stick to general topics or a topic, but
Right.
when you can capture as many topics and as many issues, as many challenges, as many positive things that are going on. But I knew I wanted to have a quality talk show platform, and I knew that we wanted to be positive platform.
Right.
That was key. And we're not a Christian station, but we have Christian values.
Right.
God is in charge, okay? And we talk about things outside of church talk, but we do talk church, politics, veterans
Yeah.
affairs, activism, you name it.
Yeah.
And movie industry,
Right.
uh, just whatever. Wisdom Wednesdays, Mind Matters, dealing with mental health, mental wellness. Wow, millennials, Generation Z, Gen Zers. We have even Paul Sensitive talking about your pets and animals. We talk about any and everything that will interest somebody.
Right.
And that's the
Right.
challenge, keeping it interesting and keeping up with what is in demand. And you guys deliver every time.
Well, you deliver as well, because your shows are amazing as well. Because you're not only the owner, you actually have a show as well on top of running this thing and making sure everything runs properly and promoting. It's a lot that go into it. And I see you working all the time. When do you take a break? What is life like for you behind the scenes of trying to put this together?
Well, it's one of those type of things in life that when you do what you love, it's not
Mm-hmm.
work. It's
Yeah.
not work. Your passion will take you far, far, far. When you enjoy your work, you know how when I was working and when I was in corporate and I've had jobs and career and paths and all this other stuff, if
Mm-hmm.
it was not what I enjoyed doing, I didn't do it because I didn't want to dread going to work. I didn't want to dread doing my job. So when you find your niche, when you find your passion, when you find what you love to do, you wake up, you look forward to do it. When your feet hit the floor, you're thinking, and you can't even hardly sleep because you're
Right.
thinking and planning for the next day and for 6 months down the road. You're planning for the future, and that's just seeing how far and how vast God can. If you put limits on God, then you will limit yourself. But when you tell God or ask God, what do you have me to do? What would you have me to do? Where do you have me to go? What do you want me to do? How should I do this? You gave me the vision. So now what do you want me to do with it? And if you listen to God, God will tell you and show you and bring the people to you to help you, because you can't do it alone. I can't do this alone.
Right.
Wow, I found one of the best assistants that I could ever ask for. And I thank you, Viv. Thank you, my sister. Thank you, Queen. But
Mm-hmm.
she helps me with a lot. But when you have people such as yourself, you are passionate about what you do, you can talk anything about the movie and film industry that's out there. So you're working in your passion.
Yes.
That's why when you go to these movie sets, when you're on all these different movies and series and all these other different activities that I'm sorry, not activities, but all these other, it's not work for you because it's your
No,
passion.
it's,
It's your
you're
passion.
right. You're right.
So
And
you
you're right. I
do
wake up. I wake up ready every time I know I'm finna film. I am so happy and I'm ready, and I'll film all day and come home dead tired and still ready to go the next day. I
for the
just
next day.
love acting. I love everything about it. I love the good and I love the bad, because with everything that's good will come some bad, and you just have to deal with it and keep going. And I never even look at it as bad. I just look at it as part of the process. You know what I'm saying? So I really love acting. That's the best thing I could have ever. Once I start doing film and movies, I said, "This is it. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life." I knew it from the first time I did the first thing.
And that's why that's why it really is not the hardest part for me. And I'm
Right.
working all the time because I'm not working. I'm operating in my purpose. I'm operating in my passion. And so it's not work for me to make sure that I answer that question for you. But
Yeah.
so you know how you feel about your passion with the movie industry. That's why when God gave me the vision to say to do this to have this Hollywood of the South, the
Right.
WCEG, what better person to have an actor who actually does this? And if you don't mind, let me kind of just give a shout out, to give kudos out to all of the show hosts, because without them, there would be no WCEG. Starting on Mondays, well, we were 7 days a week at first. When we
Right.
first started this thing, we were doing 2 hours every week. Every week. We had show hosts coming in 2 hours every week putting their content. And that's the only thing that I ask, have your content. And so
Right.
if you're operating in an area that you're familiar with, you can talk all day about it. Some
Yeah.
people be saying an hour, 2 hours, that's a long time, but won't the time go by quickly?
It will.
So on Mondays now, when we do our shows, when we have our shows on Mondays, we have Take a Stand with Demita Chapman. We have
Mm-hmm.
Issues and Answers with Mr. Norman Carter. We have State Representative Valencia Stovall with Issues and Answers. We have The People's Choice with Joe Flint. We have now a new show with Joyful Harmonies with Janelle Andrews, A Journey Through Gospel Music. She's our brand new fall season show. On Tuesdays, we come back with Vincent Cheeks, Conversations in Education, and he is a real educator, okay?
Right,
Then
yeah.
have
Shout
Dr.
out to Vincent.
Right, Dr. Babs. She is a physician. She's a doctor, a medical doctor. She does a medical show. We have Celeste Giordano, who does business shows for global legacy and wealth building. Then we come back on Wednesdays, Dr. Cassandra Wanzo. She's a licensed psychiatrist here in Atlanta for over 30 years. She comes in to do shows on mental wellness, mental illness. We have the former mayor of South Fulton, former Mayor William Bill Edwards with Wisdom Wednesdays. We come back on Thursdays with your show, WCEGWood, Hollywood of the South. Thursdays, we also have, we just finished with Dr. Keith. He comes to us with the Farmer Report, Dr. Keith Farmer.
Right. Yeah.
We talk about all business. It's more a show for entrepreneurs and a show for the marketplace, which is the business world. Then we come back on Fridays. We have Veterans Today with our retired veterans, retired Army Colonel Anthony Aiken. We also have, I think Herman was in the Air Force. He's retired. They do the veteran show. We come back with Paul Sensitive, with my dog's veterinarian, Dr. Ronald Talbert, who comes in and talk about pet care and caring for your fur babies, your animals. He used to be a veterinarian that handled all types of animals when there were farms and had the cows and horses and all these other types of animals. He used to do that. So he's a licensed doctor of veterinarian medicine. We come in on Saturdays with our Millennial Talk. Ashton Reynolds is a wonderful young man that came to us when he was just out of high school.
I love Ashton.
Right. He's awesome. He does Millennial Talk. We have also Reverend Patrina McClure, Church Biz. She brings subjects to the table that people don't like to talk about, or even in the church industry. And we also have Ramona Hernandez, who is bilingual, our bilingual place. She teaches Spanish classes. She teaches English classes to those that don't know English. She comes on. I learned Spanish, okay? I learned Spanish in working with her and her airing her show. We also have Ines, Senora Ines, who does another Millennial Talk for me. She also comes and she's trilingual. She speaks Spanish, English, and she does sign language. Also,
oh, wow.
We also have Adrian, who does Onward. She talks about life when life knocks you down. How do you pick up and move on forward to carry on with what you have to do despite what's going on around you? We also have immigration attorneys that come on to talk about our immigration laws. So, I mean, it's so vast. We have something for everyone. I'm sorry. I just had to shout out to everyone, and I didn't miss anybody. I hope I didn't, but
The fact that you remember every show and the people who host the show is unbelievable. I'm sitting like, what in the world?
But that's the genesis behind the method to the madness. I can tell you Monday through Saturday.
Right.
Do how we do it, and if you need the times, I'll tell you, and I can tell you what they're about. But the whole purpose behind this is to bring empowerment, enlightenment. And we speak life into the community. And that's our mantra. That's our motto. We speak life into the community. And that's what we do. And I thank you all.
Oh, wow. And because you have done that and have done this so well and have organized a masterpiece of a radio show, you were inducted into the Black Hall of Fame, Black Radio Hall of Fame. Now, when you got that call,
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a hoax, I'm like, why y'all playing with me like that? No, but go ahead.
I mean, to be honored with the likes of Roland Martin and some powerful radio DJs who are just all over the internet, all over the news. Just I sat there and I watched you. I was so excited. I felt like I was watching my daughter win an award at school.
Well, you
But
know,
but it was. I just want to say it was just such an exciting, and your speech was impeccable.
oh,
That was
wow.
the greatest speech. I still was talking about your speech the other day. So I said I never told her how great her speech was. Your speech was incredible.
Nobody
Now,
but God, Wardell. That was nobody but God, because I had to give God the credit for that. And whatever path that I'm to go, I always make sure that I get it from God. I confide in God and ask for direction and guidance. And I know if God gave it to me, it's going to be okay. But when I first received the message from Dave Smith, who is the Atlanta chapter president, because the National Black Radio Hall of Fame is based out of St. Louis, Missouri. And they
okay,
moved the awards around the country. And we've had it in Atlanta for 2 years, last year and this year. And, we attended together last year just
yeah,
as guests and
right,
seeing all this stuff work. And so when I received the call, I received a message first. And I knew Dave, but I didn't know Dave. So when he reached out to me, I thought it was somebody playing a joke. So I knew some of the board members, and I knew Marcia Washington George, who is the national vice president now, who used to be the Atlanta chapter president when we attended on last year, but she moved up. Bernie Hayes moved her up as second to him. But Teddy Austin, who is a very dear close friend and a board member for both of our organizations,
yeah,
WCEG. Teddy, I had to call Teddy and ask him, is this for real? And he said, yeah, well, you deserve it. And I'm like, Teddy, quit playing. So Marcia reached out, and I was like, wow, thank you all. I just still was in awe that, because I do what I do, and the recognition comes from the support that we receive weekly when we bring our broadcasts.
right,
So I really thought it was a hoax. It was a joke at first, especially knowing
wow,
some of the other people that were on platform.
right,
We had people like, as you mentioned, Roland Martin, Charlie Wilson,
yeah,
Johnny Clarkin, and then I
right,
can't all the other inductees that were just in the same room with us. It was just
yeah.
phenomenal. It was just mind blowing, and I just thank God for it. I just thank God for it.
What when you did your speech, because when you did your speech, I was just taken aback. I didn't even expect you, because Peter, you be playing like, you're like, man, don't just go there and say a few words. I'm just go there and say a few words and I'm done. And your speech was amazing. It was very touching. It was amazing. What went through your mindset in doing that speech? Like, what was your mental at that point?
Well, I was trying to do something that was going to be generic, get up there, say thank you, and get off, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But somebody that week asked me a question saying, how did you get started? Or who introduced you, so to speak? And
Mm-hmm.
it just changed everything. So I pulled out my pen and paper, and I had to just jot down some things. And if I really said what I wanted to say, they would have turned the music on me and took my microphone, because, they were only gave us so many, minutes, a minute and a half to do whatever we needed to do to give our acceptance. But
Right.
I just jotted down when I really thought about 1986. 1986, yes, when I was introduced, I was given an assignment to do by my late pastor, Reverend Dr. R.L. White. I used to be the A&R director for his independent record label,
Mm-hmm.
where we brought on artists and we did promotions, and we talked and went to different radio stations. And that's how I got started in knowing who the radio stations, program directors, music directors, station owners. Back in 1986, that's when all of that started, because I just used to listen to the radio growing up. All I did was listen, but it always intrigued me. I didn't know how the sound was coming through that little box, so to speak, radio or whatever. I didn't know anything about transmitters and all this kind of stuff, and I think that the people, but they used to actually come into the radio stations back in the day to do their shows. And so, technology changes, but going back on track, back in 1986, I was given an assignment, and those were three of the points that I put in my message, in my acceptance, because I understood the assignment when it was given to me 38 years ago, but I did not know where I was gonna be 38 years later. But what I did, I was given the assignment to meet and get and build a relationship with radio station programmers, music directors, program directors, and station owners.
Okay.
That's where it all started. So I thought about that. I said, how can I incorporate this possibly? Maybe I should say this in my speech. I didn't know, but I knew I had to condense it. So the next thing I thought about was the anointing, because it had to be the anointing from God for me to be being inducted, for me to be successful, for me to in love to do what I'm doing. I knew that God had to do this for me, and it was just an anointing. And then to be a station owner on top of that, never thought about that.
Right.
But I always had. And then the third thing, I'm going to stay on track. The third thing was the assurance, because see, I teach Bible study every week. I preach periodically on a regular basis. And if I'm teaching and preaching about the goodness of God, I got to believe it and I got to live it.
Right.
How can I tell my Bible class, how can I tell people when they come to hear me preach, how can I inspire them and tell them about God if I don't believe it myself? So I knew that through a message that I heard preached, and the pastor gave 3 pointers about the assignment, understand your assignment, the anointing that you receive to complete your assignment, and then knowing the assurance of God going to see you through. Those were how I came up with my remarks. It was like, okay, I was given this assignment in 1986.
Right.
Told to meet all these different people in the radio industry. And then next, God, no matter what business or whatever I've always, business that I've always started, business that I've always worked for myself since I left corporate America back in 1989. And for 30-something odd years, 35 years, I've been an entrepreneur, a serial shepreneur, as we say today. But just knowing, though, that God was behind the vision, that's what allowed me to be able to put my speech together.
Right.
But I wanted to condense it so they didn't turn the music on and take my microphone. So I just had to use those 3 points. And that's what I knew, that those 3 points would make a point.
Gotcha.
So that's how I received the genesis for my remarks, to thank God for everything that we did.
Well, congratulations, Penny, because you deserve it to the core. You are one of the hardest working, because how you doing it?
That's the goal, brother. That's the goal, okay? I wanted to make sure I had it in case you asked me about it.
So. Right. That's funny. You how was it that we are on everything? We have an app, WCEG network. We are on both different, the Android and the iPhone. We are on different podcasts all over the world.
Yes.
We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. LinkedIn. WCEGTalkRadio.com. How is it Roku? I always ask about
Worldwide,
Roku.
with Roku, worldwide now, okay? We were only just in the United States. And when I received an email from the Roku people saying, you are now in this country, you're in that country, you're in this country, they were naming about 12 different countries. And then they just said, you're worldwide now on Roku streaming. So I just thank God and give God the glory
That is
because
just
by the grace of God.
that is just amazing. Because I remember every time we got ready to do a show, every season we come back for the next season, and you've added more to the list. And I was like, this woman is working because you have the show is literally in every aspect of everything that's out there, from social media to websites to apps to it's literally on TV. It's everywhere, and everything you have touched has turned to gold. That
That's
how does that
God.
make?
That's nobody but God. That's God, Wardell. That's God's doing. And I had people, don't think, I had people telling me, Miss Penny, you need to be on this, you need to be on that. And I never thought I was a developer, okay? Until
Right.
I was launched into developing the mobile apps through Apple and through Google Play
Okay.
Store, Apple Store, which led to the television going to Roku. But you know what we used to do and what was the strangest thing? My little phone, when we were in the studio back at the airport, I used to always tell the show host, we're going to do television one day, right? And I used to get my phone and prop it up and put my phone on the back of the chair against the wall and tell them, this is our camera. So act like we on TV and do what you know how the show host, I mean, how you see the people on the news bringing the
Right.
news. And I said, we're going to do this. So I said, act like we on TV now. And I would just tape it. I would film it, on my and I met this wonderful, wonderful, brilliant, I mean, very skilled Mr. O.
Yeah.
This man knows television, he knows radio, he can build a radio station, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. He really can.
I was introduced to Mr. Oliver and All She Wrote.
Yeah.
And I credit all of and the other training that I received came from him.
Mr. Oliver
taught
is a
me
beast.
how to run a camera, how to run a soundboard. I want to thank Ron Anthony, who hooked up my little 8-channel soundboard to get us started back in 2015 to do our own thing. And this young man, he's a brilliant singer, has a beautiful voice, but he has his own WQMG, our sister station. He played the music and I did the talk radio. And then it got to the point where, okay, when we're not on the air, I was trying to figure out how to keep everything going when we weren't doing live talk radio. And that's when he said, well, Miss Penny, Ron Anthony said, well, Miss Penny, you can play music. You can play music when we go off the air. So something will be coming out of the station 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when we go live, we turn the music off, do our talk shows, turn the music back on. So that way you had captured both audiences worldwide.
Right.
So the people, so it's not just Penny, Ron, Mr. O, and all those other show hosts who may have come through WCEG and contributed. We have people that have come and gone and still keep in touch. We can call them, they'll come back, they come in as guests, they can do what they need to do to make sure it's a team effort. And I thank God for each and every person and every guest that you guys bring through the station.
Yeah.
You guys bring some awesome professional people. And everybody, we just do what we do, and we just thank everybody I know is God-fearing. And we may not be, we're not your top saints, but we try to do the right thing and we try to encourage people. We want to speak life. You know, there's enough negativity going around. You can turn
Right.
on the news and hear who killed who shot who did this, who did that. But we want it to be the different platform that
Right.
when you listen to us, you're going to be inspired, you're going to be enlightened, you're going to be empowered, you're going to be encouraged. It's going to make you want to come back and listen to us and see what else we can tell you that help you on your journey. That's the main thing. But anyway, okay.
Okay, so let's change the topic. We almost look. We so deep into this. I can talk to you all day. I want to change the topic. So,
Oh, go ahead.
you are an actress, and a lot of people don't really know that you are an actress. So let's just tell the little story, shall we? Okay. You asked me at one point in time, I was shooting a movie with Michelangelo, Dream on Dreamer. And you said to me, well, if you happen to get anything, I would like to test, see if I could, how it feels to do some acting. I just want to test the water, see how it is and stuff. I said, okay, cool.
But that was supposed to be background, what they call them, the extras. That was the extras. You took it to a whole new level, Wardell.
Well, what did you get, Penny? What did you get?
My brother. Within a couple of days, you called me in 2 days and told me you in. I'm like, huh? What you mean I'm in? I'm thinking you telling me a movie extra. You telling me, oh, we got Michelangelo with Mangelo Productions. He's gonna write you in on a script that we are already working on, a series, a trilogy we're already working on, Dream on Dream. I'm like, huh? And I'm thinking it was still an extra. I mean, because I had went on movie sets.
Right.
And getting extra work on Greenleaf and some of the other movies out there, Neo's, High Water Stepping and all this kind of just different background stuff. Right. And when you're talking about a speaking role, I went, has he lost his mind? No, I mean, I was terrified because I was like, just being in the background, That was my goal.
You be trying to be in it, but you're not a background woman. Oh, I'm sorry to tell you. You can be in the background all you want to, but you're not a background woman.
Well, because I wasn't familiar with the industry and movie production, I wanted to learn the business because with you being as experienced as you are, and I was seeing you on the screen and I could see you when you did something. I don't know if you remember, but you sat in front of me and you gave me about 4 or 5 different personalities or acting. You know what do you call it?
Yeah.
You were able to switch.
Right.
Your demeanor, your personality, your whatever you call it. What is it that you call it? Whatever role that you're playing.
Right.
And when I saw you in that movie, the last time.
Right.
Oh my God. That wasn't the Wardell that I knew, but then what acting is all about.
Right.
You were a devil, okay? In that movie, I didn't like you, but I had to remember that you are an actor.
Right.
And what it's all about. You can switch up and change, and just sitting right in front of me, you gave me 4 or 5 different personalities, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's good. I mean, no, really. No, but for me, I was intrigued because I wanted to know the business the same way I learned about the radio business.
Right.
You taught me everything that I know, and you even coached me, Coach
right.
Wardell, Coach Richardson. You coached me with my lines.
Yeah. And you killed it.
It was all God again, because if I did it from me, I would be in the background, honey. I ain't talking in front of no camera. And that's why I produce all of my shows, because I'm behind the scenes.
But I never asked you, when we did the movie premiere, how did you feel seeing yourself on the big screen, like in a theater?
That was up there. I'm like, Lord, is that? I mean, no, really, it blew my mind. It just took me to another. I'm like, wow, so this is what it's like, okay? Yeah. I mean, still intrigued how this all come together. how you get behind the camera. You have all the people, all the equipment, all the mics, all the cameras, and you have to make all of that disappear. You can't think about it. You
Right.
can't focus on that because you won't be able to do what you have to do.
Right.
But based on your coaching, you helped me to overcome that nervousness, the
Yeah.
fear. You
Yeah.
just you just act like your everyday kind of self, you know?
Right. Right. And that's literally what I teach people. Like, just what would you do in that scenario? Just be your normal self. Because TV is, I like to be as real as possible. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was teaching you, because you was actually a radio host, a radio producer in the film. So
Right,
you was
right. So like,
familiar with it. You just
right.
have to be comfortable with yourself.
Right. But it was really a very awesome learning experience. I learned a lot about the movie film industry. And I thank you for even taking the time to do that, because, and I'm thinking it was going to take, 2-3 years or something. I wasn't expecting a phone call within 2 days to say, you in the movie, and then to be written in. The script was already there, and
Right.
then for him to rearrange some things and do that. And Michelangelo, thank you, brother. Thank you, my friend. I
Yeah.
thank you all, and everyone make you feel so welcome, and the cast, the crew, everybody. It was just a wonderful experience, and I'm looking to do other things in the future.
Oh, well, we got some stuff coming. I already
I was
told
going to say off a ways out. Okay, but go ahead.
I already told you, but we got going on. I'll talk to you about a lot of things. But Penny, man, the show that went by already. It's already time to wrap it up. I can sit and talk to you all day, because this is what we do anyway. We sit and we talk,
Right.
and we talk about future. We talk about plans, and I just love you to the core, because you are just amazing to work with.
I love you too. No, I'm working for you now, okay? Rain Dance
Hey, we
Queen,
working
you're
for
my
each
boss.
other.
You're my boss, okay? So, but that's why I thought it was for you to ask me and to come on board. And I'm like, wow, I was honored to do that. And knowing that you are teaching me everything that I know about the movie film industry, what better teacher than someone who has the experience? And you've introduced me to so many wonderful people. The guests you've brought on board, your guests have been top people in their crafts, with whatever they do. And I just thank you for that next level that you took me to. So, and think about how many shows started off when Wardell started Hollywood of the South. How many are still out there? We can't think of, really think about it. Everyone start having a actor talk show, doing stuff and now it's only maybe one or two out there.
Yeah.
Everybody felt, and see, that's the main thing about it. Consistency is what you have to be consistent. You got to be serious about what you're doing. And if you're going to do it, you got to stick to it and give it your best. It's nothing that you need. Things come and go. But if you're real about it, no matter what business or industry or whatever gifts that you've been given, if you acknowledge God, the gift giver, God will blow your mind, will take you places that you never even dreamed of. And that's what has happened with the WCEG, any business that I've ever touched. I just always thank God for it. And just the people that God makes our paths cross for a reason.
Right.
So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Penny, thank you so much for being on this show, man. I've been wanting to interview you for so long. And when you got the Radio Hall of Fame, when you got inducted, I said, "Oh, it's on. I'm interviewing you. I don't care what you say.
And I was trying to get out of it, right? I'm not used to being on this side. I'm used to being behind. They're telling you all, how many minutes you got. Okay, Vivian, we know we're down to the wire now. If you need to, just go ahead. I'll sign us off. But anyway, no, but really seriously, thank you. And everyone plays a role, has a part. Because if it was without you,
right,
there would be no me or WCEG. And I just really, I mean, it's really a team effort. I can't
It
do this
really
alone.
is.
I can't do this alone. And I was just asked a few days ago, and I'm getting ready to shut it down too. But people ask, they want us, some want to know when we're going back into the studio, when are we going to this, we're going to that. And I was able to use the what we needed to expand the station when we came out of the studio during COVID.
Right,
COVID enhanced what we're doing because
right.
I'm using that overhead to invest in the various different platforms that we needed to go higher and higher and higher. If there's
And
another platform coming out, we're going to have it, okay?
right,
So that's the beauty of being able to hear. If you pray, you got to believe. And if you
right,
believe, you shouldn't worry. And people were like, oh, COVID shut down a lot of things, but COVID enhanced our platform,
right.
gave us even more to do and more to bring to people. And I just can't wait to see what God has in store for us next. I really have no idea, but I'm listening and waiting for the next
Right.
word for where we need to go.
But I am just very happy about everything that we have done. I'm excited about being a part of WCEG the Hollywood South. This is something like I said, I never imagined being a radio show host, and you opened that door for me, and I love it. It's one of the best things to have to do other than my film career and everything. I love doing radio. Love it. I was missing it because
I can tell because you are good. You're a natural. You are a natural with what you do and the quality and the people and everything that you bring to that particular platform. It's like, wow, I couldn't have asked a better person. And so, but and like you're saying, it's all about, it's your passion. This is what you
right.
do. So you couldn't help but be a natural at it. And I thank you for accepting. So I don't know if it was a trick where you thought it was just one show, but I'm like, no, this is your platform. Hey,
That's
what we
what you
gonna do
told
next
me.
week?
You said, think about what you're gonna do for the next show. I said, huh? So
Right. So it's like, wow. So yeah,
it's became one of the best things I've ever done. I love doing it. I look forward to doing it. I like it. I love interviewing people, and also it keeps me kind of crafty in what you something you don't know is it keeps me going in the film industry. Because it
oh,
keeps my
okay,
mind going constantly and always thinking of things to say and to do when I'm on set. So
right,
it kind of keeps me wired. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's a practice for me. So I appreciate that. And I just appreciate you for being the person you are. You have definitely changed my life and so many other people, which is why you deserve that award. You
Well,
definitely deserve that award.
well, I still give all the glory to God, and I know people probably tired of hearing me say that, but if you know me, the gospel diva, I'm going to keep talking about God and the goodness of God and letting you know if God did it for me, just think what God can do for you. You just have
Yes.
to believe. And I have to keep reminding myself, I keep reminding others. But I just, again, want to thank you for even and everyone that's involved with WCEG, no matter what walk of life. It's always something good. And we're going to bring that goodness out. And if God gave me a platform, He didn't intend for me to keep it for myself.
Right.
And I'll open the door and give because if all it takes is one opportunity and that can change a person's life. And I know if God changed my life, God can change your life.
Yes, he can. How can people contact you if even if they have an idea for a show? How can they get in contact with you?
Oh, and you just reminded me I need to answer an email that thank you. But I know that I had people ahead of that particular person. But we are on any social media platform. Look up WCEG. You can go to our website. We have our office number. We have our email address there. Some people try to contact me through Messenger, And sometimes I'm not always on Messenger, but I happen to go in it sometimes. But if you go to www.wcegtalkradio.com, you will find our website. We're on all social media platforms, WCEG. We're on Roku. We're on whatever else, Wardell, where are we? We're worldwide.
Worldwide.
Alexa, play WCEG Talk
That's
Radio.
right. I forgot about that. We were on Alexa.
LinkedIn. Thank you, Vivian. I had that awesome assistant producer behind the scenes. Thank you, Vivian. LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. We're on Threads now. I'm on TikTok. We have 2 mobile apps, free mobile apps. We have just any platform, and we have 2 really talk radio stations. One is WCEGradio.com, and the other one is WCEGtalkradio.com. So we have 2 stations. We have the 12 podcast distribution platforms. Any way that you want to reach WCEG, you can find us anywhere.
All right.
Anywhere.
And on that note, Penny, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. You're a busy woman. I just had to bring you on.
I'm gonna get you, Wardell.
my first show. What better person to bring on than you? Before we go, I think everybody kind of know about the strike that was going on with the dock workers, where they went on strike just on October 1st. And I've just got notice that has been suspended to January 15th. So to allow time to negotiate the new contract. So I just got that message. Thank God for that.
Okay.
Because that was going to be a problem for a lot of people.
Right. Oh, and before we leave, but thank you for that update as well. We needed to hear that. And that's why if anyone has a platform, we want to remind people elections are coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Presidential election and other elections, not just for the president, but early voting. Voter registration will end on October 7th.
Right.
Early voting will begin on October 15th. Get out and vote. If you haven't voted for a while, you may have been purged, voter suppression. You can go to your www.mvp.sos.ga for the state of Georgia.gov, or whatever city or whatever state you're in. Go to your voter registration page, or go to your Secretary of State page and check your voter status, your polling status, to see if you're still on the roll. And then find out, since they have done a lot of redistricting, we can find out where our new voting locations are. Because if you go to the wrong place, they are not doing provisional ballots anymore. So get out and vote is my point. Go vote. I don't care who you vote for, but you know who to vote for, okay? But get out and vote. Get out and vote. Thank you for allowing us to inform our audience to do that.
Yes, and please get out and vote. That is very important, especially this year and every year afterwards. Please get out and vote. It is majorly important that we stand together and vote. There is a lot going on right now in the government, more than I can even talk about right now, but we have to stand and we have to vote. If you, I don't care, like Penny said, I don't care who you vote for. Your opinion, your belief is what it is. But please vote for the best of your ability.
And know before you go, research your candidates.
Yes.
Some of them are already showing their hand anyway, but for the other, it's more than just the president that we have to vote for. You have your local, you have your state, and other people that we need to vote. So know before you go. You can get a sample ballot from your Secretary of State page, whatever state that you're in. www.mvp.sos.ga.gov for the people in Georgia. And again, thank you, Wardell. I thank you.
No problem.
Keep the people that were in the storm's path, those that have lost loved ones, and those that are still reaping from the devastation of the storm. Keep them in your prayers.
Yes, because
They
there was communities completely wiped
wipes
away.
out. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And they have nowhere to go, no home, no, you can't even see their homes. I mean, totally wiped away communities,
Yeah.
cities.
It's trauma.
So pray for these people. They have a lot. FEMA has been doing an excellent job on helping people. So
Amen.
please keep these people in your prayers.
Thank you.
On that note, we're going to end the show. Penny, once again, thank you for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Wardell Richardson on WCEG Wood, Hollywood of the South, and we are signing out. Peace.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you, Viv.